I used to think silence meant peace, that those long quiet dinners where plates clinked and words evaporated between us were a kind of comfort. Maybe love had just grown mature, calmer, but I was wrong. Silence can rot. It can consume everything before you even notice. It started with her phone lighting up during dinner, once, twice, then every night, a name I didn't recognize. A coworker, she said, smiled faintly. I didn't question much. People get busy, right? But slowly her laughter changed. Her perfume lingered longer when she came home. She started sleeping with her back to me, and in bed she held her phone like a lifeline. One night I woke up and saw her sitting in the corner of our room, screen glowing, whispering, the same smile I hadn't seen in months, but it wasn't meant for me. That was the moment I realized something had died long before I noticed. Days blurred after that. I still went to work, answered emails, smiled at colleagues, pretended the world didn't feel hollow. I tried cooking her favorite meals, buying her flowers. She just said she was tired. It's not you, she whispered once, it's everything. I wanted to ask everything or everyone, but that night I didn't. Instead, I waited, quietly, observing. The phone again, password changed, memories erased before I could see them. Until one morning after she left for a meeting, I opened her laptop. I don't even know what I was looking for. Maybe proof, maybe hope. Instead, I saw the photos, the ones she forgot to delete from the cloud, her smile, his hands, a dinner we never shared, and the world collapsed. I remember walking outside in the rain. No umbrella, no destination. Just the sound of rain masking everything I couldn't say. That night I didn't confront her. I just sat on the couch waiting. When she came home and saw me awake, her face froze. "Did you go through my stuff?" she asked quietly. I didn't answer. For a long time, neither of us spoke. The only sound was the rain tapping the window. Then she whispered, "I'm sorry." But I think she said it more to herself than to me. By morning, her side of the wardrobe was empty. Drawers open, dust where love used to be. I found her note later. Just one line, "I need to find myself." And she was gone. The apartment had never felt so large. I sat in the dim living room, rain still falling outside, staring at her empty cup on the coffee table. Then the screen of her laptop lit up automatically. I saw folders, one named us, another named past, and one hidden near the bottom, HIM. I hovered my hand over the trackpad but couldn't open it. It was enough to know. I closed the laptop and whispered into the emptiness, "You already found yourself, didn't you?" The rain turned to morning light, but it didn't bring warmth. The aftermath and the other man. The days that followed were a blur of noise and absence. Friends texted asking why I disappeared. I told them I was fine, but inside I was a ruin, walking, eating, existing without purpose. Nights were the worst. The bed felt foreign, the sheets colder. Her scent faded slower than I wanted it to. I tried deleting her pictures, but I couldn't bring myself to. I tried talking to someone, but no words came out right. Each time I looked in the mirror, I barely recognized myself. Then one evening, curiosity or madness led me back to that laptop, the one she hadn't wiped. This time I opened it again, clicked the hidden folder. Inside were messages, screenshots, pictures, voice notes, their laughter, plans, words I once thought belonged only to us. I didn't rage, I just sat there staring. My heart wasn't breaking, it had already done that. This was something else. Understanding, cold, detached understanding. He wasn't who I pictured. Not taller, not richer, not better looking, just different. Maybe he made her feel something I no longer could. I closed the folder and left it there, untouched. That night I couldn't sleep. I walked through the city aimlessly, neon lights reflecting in puddles. I saw couples holding hands, sharing quiet smiles. It hurt, but it was grounding. At a late-night cafe, an old man sitting alone offered me a seat. We didn't talk much, just sat there in silence, sipping coffee. When he finally spoke, his voice was soft. People leave not always because they stop loving us. Sometimes they leave because they stop loving themselves. I remember that line more than anything, because maybe she did love me once but lost herself along the way. When I came home, I packed away what was left of her things, photos. Letters, small objects that used to mean everything. But one thing I didn't throw away, that laptop. Instead, I created a new folder for her. Inside it, I wrote one letter. No anger, no blame, just truth. I loved you. That's all I can say without breaking again. And I left it there untouched, waiting. She came back 3 months later. I heard the familiar knock, hesitant, slow. I opened the door and there she stood, smaller somehow, eyes tired. Voice trembling, "Can I come in?" I just nodded. She looked around like she was seeing ghosts, her mug on the shelf, the painting we bought together, the dust she left behind. "I didn't think you'd still be here," she said quietly. "I didn't think you'd come back," I answered. We sat across from each other. Two people who once shared everything, now strangers trying to remember why. "I deleted everything," she suddenly whispered. "Photos, messages, all of it. But it didn't help." I listened silent. "I thought I'd feel free," she said, "but I just felt empty." Her hands trembled. I noticed her wearing the same ring she once said she'd return. still on her finger like a ghost of a promise. You found my folder, I said. She froze, the one named for her. I nodded, her eyes filled with tears. Why'd you do that? Because I didn't want my last words to you to be silence. She covered her mouth, sobbing quietly. I didn't move to comfort her. I just watched the rain softly hit the window behind her. She whispered, "Do you hate me?" I did, I said honestly, but not anymore. We sat like that for hours. She talked about her mistakes, her guilt, her confusion, how the other man left her when reality set in, how she realized too late what she'd broken. I didn't ask her to stay, and she didn't ask for forgiveness. When she finally stood up to leave, she said, "You didn't deserve what I did." And I said, "Maybe not, but we both deserved peace." She smiled faintly, the kind that hides tears, and walked out. As the door closed, I felt a strange calm. Maybe forgiveness wasn't something you give once. Maybe it's something that slowly builds in the quiet after someone leaves. Months passed. The seasons changed gently, like the soft turn of a page. I stopped waiting for her to text, stopped opening that folder every morning. But one morning I did, and instead of deleting it, I added one last line. Forgiveness isn't forgetting. It's remembering without pain. Then I closed the laptop for the final time. The apartment felt alive again. I started repainting walls, adding small plants, letting light in. I began photographing the city again, something I'd stopped doing since she left. Each morning I found small solaces, the smell of coffee, the warmth of sunlight, the sound of laughter from the street below. I realized life isn't about erasing what broke you, it's about carrying it, but lighter each day. Sometimes I still dream of her. Sometimes she's standing by the rain-soaked window, whispering my name softly, but I wake up and smile. Because now it doesn't ache anymore. On the last evening of that year, I walked to the park we once loved, sat on a bench where her head used to rest on my shoulder. The city lights shimmered across the lake. I whispered into the cool air, "Thank you for teaching me how to let go." And for the first time in a long time, I meant it. The stars above didn't speak, but it felt like they listened. As I walked home, I saw my reflection in the glass doors of my building, older, steadier, freer. In that reflection, I saw who I was before her, and who I finally became after her.